Okay, there's a great thing, sports fans, going on this weekend. It's called the HBCU Megacamp. And guess what? For those that didn't know, now you know. I'm going to bring in. I have the man with me today that is definitely at the forefront of this wonderful event that's going on. No other than Coach Rich Freeman, as they call him, from Morehouse College, the head football coach. So if you enjoy the show, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're going to definitely talk about this wonderful exposure football camp going on down here in the South, down here in Atlanta, with head football coach Richard Freeman from Morehouse College. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Go ahead and say it. Now, we down here in the dirty South. I know.
Yeah, okay, let me get it right. Go ahead. I'm going to try it again, Coach. Welcome to the dirty South. Thank you for correcting me, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, it's great to have you on. Coach, big things for high school coaches such as myself and people that have been in the high school area and been coaching around for a while. They've always known that HBCU football was just important as any other football in college football today. And there's been times where just haven't gotten the shine, even though the results have been fantastic, great. You know, just exposure has been a conundrum sometimes. But I want you to sit and talk about how this started, because what you got going on this weekend is wonderful. I think it's a blessing that this has been put on by yourself and all those that were with you to put this together. And I want to just hand the ball off to you, Coach, and talk about not only being the senior head coach in the SIAC conference, is as far as one of the coaches that's been around for a while in this area and coaching SIAC football, great football, but just talk about how this all came about.
Well, you know, they say great things happen in very quiet moments, you know, and I have a pretty good relationship with Ahmad Tinker, who I think is a visionary, someone that I think that's bright and brilliant, also tenacious. When he has an idea, you know, no question about it, he's going to move 100 miles per hour to make sure that idea comes into reality. One of the best things that has happened for me during my tenure at Morehouse and some of my colleagues within the SIAC, the CIAA, the MEAC, and even outside of the HBCU conferences, some of the smaller 1AA, Division II conferences and schools outside of the realm of HBCU. One of the best things that happened was, you know, to get the coaches together in one area, which Coach Tinker was able to do with the FRE recruiting fairs. Gotcha. You know, and we've benefited from that. I've been able to get a lot of great players and to cultivate and to develop a lot of good relationships with coaches that we would not have had the resources or even the time or the manpower to get to. You know, Atlanta is spread out pretty big. You know, it's one thing to be in Douglas County, and then it's another thing to be all the way across the city in Conyers. You know, it's sometimes when you don't have as many full-time coaches, you can't do that. And so, you know, after, you know, just letting Tinker know that he's done a great job with that, you know, one day in a quiet moment, we were just talking one day, and he said, "Rich, you know, I got an idea." And he said, "I want to do a mega camp. I want to do a mega camp, and I want you to be the sponsor of it." You know, of course, I'll be behind the scenes doing all the grunt work, and which he has. So I can't take any credit for that. You know, I've just simply been a sponsor, the person, as you mentioned, that's out in the forefront. And I mean, it exploded. It exploded. I think last year those numbers were somewhere north of 2,000. You know.
Yes.
So I've enjoyed that. We've enjoyed the exposure at Morehouse College with being, you know, connected to such, you know, such a historic and such a successful event. So I think it gives us all something to be proud of, and we're looking forward to this weekend.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I remember being at those coaching clinics, Minority Coaches Association clinics, and uh, that are held by Coach Tinker, Ahmad Tinker, and fascinating. Sitting there watching you along with other coaches come in and look at recruiting. And I've had Coach Tinker on another show. I'm gonna get him back on my show because now this is my show, So it's Coach One Sports. So I'm gonna get him back on. I know he's busy, but it the magic and the correlation of what you're talking about, because I was right there watching you there, and along with other coaches and every event that I was at, you were right there as well. Of course, being right here in the heart of Atlanta, but more importantly, the Mecca of the South, of just trying to get people to understand that there is great football going on, and these kids that are trying to get the exposure needed. But for us coaches, it helped to see you guys, and I also salute Tank for his visions on where to go with helping kids, and even those clinics and coaching clinics that were being held. Man, it was just fascinating. Everybody from all walks of life are there. And that's the beauty of coaching. And for you to be able to have this right here in the Dirty South, right here in the ATL,
That's right.
Feels good. It feels good saying it for me, because just knowing a lot of coaches, and I hear they coming in town. I hear they already here. Some of them were here last night. Some of them flying in this morning. So I know you're getting flooded with those types of things. So tell me how this structure goes, because it sounds like you all have added a new piece this year, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to turn it over to you. I want you to talk about what's going on today, how it works, and then what's going on tomorrow.
Sure, no question about it. Definitely the transfers. The transfer portal is a huge thing. We want to make sure that we're within NCAA rules. So this is specifically for kids that are in the portal. Those kids will get opportunity. Coaches will get opportunity to evaluate them from 5:45 to 7:30. Awesome. Those groups would be quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive backs, linebackers, and running backs. So that's what'll be going on. And tonight, that'll be at Lakewood Stadium. Gotcha. And of course, Tinker does a really good job of making sure it gets out on all the social media outlets. So you can simply just go to Google and Google HBCU Megacamps.
Right.
And this information will come up. Now on tomorrow morning, from 9 o'clock to 10:45, be the running backs and the linebackers from 11 to 12:45, quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive backs. And then the last group will be from 2 to 3:45. That'll be the big skill, the offensive and defensive line. And in addition to it just being an evaluation camp, I know we'll have our admissions team on hand. They'll be there, because not only do we have a lot of prospects, but we have parents that'll be there as well. So those parents will be able to engage maybe not only the Morehouse admissions team. I remember last year we saw Alabama State there. So I'm pretty sure all these admissions offices are getting the memo. Right. You got people, you got students, prospective student athletes, so they can also come and leverage that opportunity as well.
That's wonderful. When you talk about the transfer portal, now, is that just for players from HBC universities and schools, or is that for any kids in the transfer portal, no matter what level of college football they're coming from?
No, that's for any kids.
Wow.
It's for any kids, because obviously the key is to get them, actually into an HBCU. So no question about it. Doesn't matter where you're transferring from. We just would like to have your presence there, and you'll be evaluated by the HBCUs.
Well, I can tell you right now, Coach Freeman, last year I heard about some good-looking players out there. I heard about some kids just showing out, and I heard all of my friends and comrades and people in the coaching arena, the talk around the talk around the Southeast was just, man, how things jumped off with the talent level of kids that were there. And I know that Tink will have pictures and photos, but talk about that for a minute. The types of kids that you just in your experience seen come out of the mega camp.
No question about it. And I have to commend the coaches. I have to commend the parents. Definitely, we're aware of the day and time that we live in, the movement, what's going on in political America at this point. Back in the day, you would have parents and certain coaches, and you'll have a Power 5 coach standing in line to talk to the coach. And then you have an HBCU coach would be kind of put on the back burner. I think you know where I'm going.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to demean anybody. What I'm saying is just a reality. Right. And those type of conversations were being held with prospects from the high school coach. But even before that, those conversations were being held at home with daddy to the prospect or with mama to the prospect. Hey, man, I've heard kids tell me, hey, look, I'm not sending my son to an HBCU for various reasons. Now, these are kids that look like you and I.
Correct.
So I think last year what you saw kids that you knew had Power 5 offers. You saw kids that you knew had top 10 offers, and they were still there engaging the HBCUs. And when I say engaging, not just doing it from a political standpoint, they really were weighing that opportunity. An opportunity that the good Lord blessed me with, where I was able to meet my wife at Tennessee State University, was able to meet some of my best friends, our assistant head coach, and one of the best coaches in college football, George Copeland. I was able to meet him and hire him, and he's been working with me for the last 16 years. The only problem I have with Coach Copeland is finding raise money every year to keep him on campus.
I know that's right.
That's the only problem I've had, So, and those memories, being able to take my daughter and my son to the campus, every time I get a free moment and just talk about certain things that happen, and to be able to go back and not just be a name, but be a face, just recognized by people on that campus, and to feel good about it. Those are the things that we are now beginning to talk about again to our kids. And this puts us into the conversation with some of those top 10 teams and Power 5 programs. So I think now we get it again. And so now the camp is starting to build up more steam, and guys are really considering.
Coach, I think that you hit it right on the nose. I'm a graduate of Norfolk State University, and a proud graduate, let me say that, and former player. And I remember those days when, schools, HBCU schools would come to my campuses, and they'd see a kid that I have and say, well, we like them, but we got to wait till the big boys come through and pluck the kids that they like. Well, now it's not like that. Now you all get a chance to even say, hey, listen, we like that kid, and we're going to offer that kid too. How about that? We don't, it doesn't matter if, university is so-and-so in the SEC or ACC offered them. We like them, and we're going to offer them. And Coach, I just love the fact that, yes, my chest does stick out to see what you got going on today and tomorrow, because being an old dog in this game, it doesn't show on the face. That's just genetics. But, I got to thank Evelyn Joy and my mom for that, and Henry Jones. But to watch you all be able to have this, and I remember when Ahmad Tinker was when he first started all of this, I was one of them coaches that sent as many kids as possible. And it was in the rain. You probably remember this, Coach, a long time ago back. I think it was in 2013 or 2014. He had his very first down at Lakewood Stadium. It was in the rain. And I probably sent about 25 kids over there, and the parents just, took my word for them. And I just said, hey, listen, this is a great event. And now to see where we are, and then for this to happen with you, having this big event today and tomorrow, I had to get out of my. My son plays high level baseball, so I'm all over the place in Metro Atlanta, and but I wanted to get to you because this is important. This is important for HBCU football. This is just important that you were able to take the lead, and the dean of coaches in the SIAC conference. Just a lot of time for the love that you guys get for what you do, Coach. And I don't think you get enough of it. And I keep it real, because that's what Coach One Sports is all about. Identifying what we do in our daily lives, you on that level of collegiate football, and to be able to give. This is giving back to kids, for them mamas and daddies and grandmamas that say they can't get in a car and go all the way out of town 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to go take a kid to see a school because maybe they have to work, But they get a chance to get it right now, right in the heart of Atlanta, and I think that's special. Closing thoughts, Coach. I want to open it to you, because I like the fact that this is all right here in Metro Atlanta. Morehouse College, Coach Rich Freeman folks right here with us on Coach One Sports. Coach, give me some final thoughts on where we're going with recruiting in reference to HBCU football, and more importantly, how do parents connect with this?
Well, I think that we're getting the message now. It's always been something special there. The good Lord has placed some really good leaders into these head coaching and athletic directing and assistant coaching positions. Right. I think it's always been a matter of resources and infrastructure, and I think now we're finally starting to see on HBCU campuses what we have. We have a pot of gold right there in our hands with our athletic departments. It does so much for the college. It helps develop esprit de corps, camaraderie, all those things that you want that special feeling that you want to have on your campus, and you can get all that started off right when school starts in August, everywhere. And throughout, and I think we know that. I think we know that we have something special. So infrastructures, resources, we're starting to build on our campuses. We're starting to put money into budgets, and we're starting to go out and raise funds so that we could be able to better attract some of our young men. These are things that have been known all too well with other institutions. And so that's why a lot of the young men, we would lose them because of these big cathedrals that are being constructed on other campuses, all these perks and bells and whistles. We're starting to have an understanding now on HBCU campuses. Hey, man, look, let's do what we can to continue trying to be attractive and relevant. We have profound history and tradition, and you and I both know because we've been around the block. Just to walk and grace the campus of Morehouse College, and behind some of the trailblazers, the great Martin Luther King Jr. Just that is enough.
Yes,
to be able to say, hey, to be a part of that. But, our board of trustees, our alumni, our president, our athletic director, they saw fit to put down a $3 million facility, $3 million track and field, scoreboard, state-of-the-art locker rooms, things like that, in addition to having the greats to trailblaze, for some of the kids that don't get it, for some of the parents that don't get it. You catch the fish first, then you clean them second. So
you're right.
I think that's what we're starting to realize now, and I won't use the term arrogance. I would just use the term of we weren't looking
Right.
in those directions in the past at HBCUs, and now we're looking. Deion Sanders is helping that effort a
Yes.
whole lot. We're looking and we see that, let's make the infrastructure better so we can go get the kids that we know we can get anyway,
Right.
and develop them better than they're going to be developed at some of these other places, should they go to some of those other places, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, Coach. I'm riding that boat with you, Coach. It's a beautiful journey, and I'm glad that I get to share talking about where things are going now as opposed to where it's been. That's the beauty of it. My mother's a Spelman graduate. My wife is North Carolina Central. I have a daughter graduate North Carolina Central. I have another daughter, Florida A&M, and my oldest son is Payne University. So I understand it, and I enjoy, and I'm just blessed to have a vehicle to be able to talk about these things, and more importantly, share what you're doing. Because as I mentioned, from a coach's standpoint, there's not enough pats on the back that you get for standing out front. Along with Coach Ahmad Tinker, and moving forward with stuff like that, the pioneer part of it, and being able to take that vessel, Coach, it's amazing. It's beautiful that you're having. There's so many kids looking for places to play. The big news you always hear about, transfer portal, the positive things. Media doesn't give you the negative sides of it, and even how it affects high school players. But Coach, I just think it's a blessing. That you are moving forward with this, with Coach Tinker, just a visionary, as you mentioned. And Coach, I love it. And I want to, after it's over with, I want us to get back together, just talk, and maybe he'll let us just show some photos of just some of the outstanding players that are out there. You got a long day today and tomorrow, and Coach, it couldn't happen to a better person. And I want to thank you for taking time to come on the show and just chat about it and talk about this blessing, because HBCU football is back. And I love saying that. I think I got a little taller when I said that.
Well, we'll get together over some of those world-class Polish sausages that Coach Tink has being cooked up for the coaches after the camp tomorrow.
Hey, listen, I get, my son got a game in the morning, and I hope they win. But if they don't win, that means I get to where you guys are earlier.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Coach, for coming on the show. Sports fans, there you have it from Coach Rich Freeman, head football coach at Morehouse College. He is leading the way today and tomorrow for the HBCU Megacamp. Folks, there's going to be a lot of kids out there trying to impress college coaches from everywhere coming into town. They're already here, actually. And actually, you'll be able to see down at the bottom, they'll have all the information you need, as well as information from Coach Freeman as well, because we just want to bless these kids that come out for this event. And it's about helping these kids move to the next level. Coach, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate you, brother. And we definitely gonna talk. And hopefully I'll make it there to get some of that food. I've been working on my weight lately. Thank you so much, Coach. So, sports fans, if you enjoyed it, please make sure you comment, share. Coach One Sports. It's all about love for coaching. The coaching every day. Somebody, get a chance to coach one. We walk that walk every day, whether we realize it or not. We are coaching something that we say or do. So, sports fans, make sure comment. I will respond. Thank you for watching Coach One Sports. Coach, I enjoyed you, and we'll talk soon.
You bet. Thank you.